The silent border. Commander Elena Vasquez pressed her face against the observation deck window of the UNS Discovery, staring into the void that marked the boundary of human space. For 3 months, her deep space reconnaissance vessel had been mapping the outer reaches of humanity's expanding territory. What she saw now made her question everything she thought she knew about their place in the universe. "Commander, you need to see this," called Lieutenant Marcus Webb from the sensor station. His voice carried an edge that made Elena's stomach tighten. In 15 years of space exploration, she had learned to trust that tone. It meant trouble. Elena floated across the zero-gravity bridge to Marcus's workstation. The young officer's face was pale as he pointed to his display screen. "Ma'am, we're detecting massive metal signatures ahead. Hundreds of them, maybe thousands." "Asteroids?" Elena asked, though she already suspected the answer. "No, ma'am. These readings show manufactured materials, complex alloys, and they're arranged in patterns too organized to be natural." Elena felt her pulse quicken. In all of humanity's expansion into space, they had never encountered evidence of alien intelligence. Earth's radio telescopes had listened for decades without hearing a whisper from the stars. The discovery of even ancient alien artifacts would change everything. "Take us closer, but slowly," Elena ordered, "and wake up the entire crew. I want all departments on alert." As the Discovery approached the mysterious objects, Elena gathered her senior staff in the main conference room. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the ship's xenobiologist, practically vibrated with excitement. Chief Engineer Rodriguez looked skeptical. Security Chief Thompson kept checking his sidearm. "What we're seeing defies explanation," Elena began, activating the main holographic display. The image that appeared left everyone speechless. Stretching across space for hundreds of kilometers was a graveyard of alien starships. Vessels of every conceivable design floated in the darkness like monuments to fallen civilizations. Some were sleek and organic, appearing almost grown rather than built. Others were massive geometric structures that hurt to look at directly. Still others seemed to shift and change shape even as they watched. "My God," whispered Dr. Tanaka. "How many different species are represented here?" Elena had been wondering the same thing. Computer analysis suggests at least 40 distinct technological signatures. Each ship design appears to come from a completely different evolutionary path. "What killed them?" asked Thompson, his military training focused on the immediate threat. "That's what we need to find out," Elena replied. "But first, we need to understand where we are." She manipulated the holographic display to show their current position relative to human space. The alien graveyard formed a perfect arc along the boundary of humanity's explored territory. Every single dead ship was pointed in the same direction toward human worlds. "They were all heading into our space when they died," Rodriguez observed. Elena nodded grimly. "And something stopped them. All of them." The next 12 hours revealed even more disturbing patterns. The Discovery's advanced sensors detected that the alien ships had been destroyed over a span of nearly 5,000 years. The oldest wrecks were little more than metal skeletons, while the most recent showed signs of having been destroyed within the last few decades. All bore the same type of damage, massive holes punched clean through their hulls by weapons of incredible power. Dr. Tanaka led the first boarding party to investigate one of the more intact vessels. The alien ship was beautiful and terrible at the same time. Its hull seemed to flow like liquid metal, and strange symbols covered every surface. Inside, they found the remains of the crew, tall, graceful beings with 4 arms and large, multifaceted eyes. "Commander," Dr. Tanaka's voice crackled over the radio. "You need to see what we found in their computer systems." Back aboard the Discovery, Elena watched as her team downloaded and translated the alien data. What they found sent chills through the entire crew. The aliens called themselves the Zelhari, and they had been exploring the galaxy for over 2 millennia. Their final log entry, translated into human languages, told a terrifying story. "We approached the boundary of the Forbidden Zone," the alien captain had recorded. The Council of Worlds has warned all species to avoid this region of space, but we must know what lies beyond. Our long-range sensors detect a young civilization on multiple worlds. They appear harmless, barely able to leave their home system. Surely the ancient warnings cannot apply to such a primitive species. The log continued with growing panic. We are detecting massive energy buildups all around us. Something is targeting our fleet. By the Great Light, the stories were true. The Guardians are real. All ships, retreat immediately. Do not let them catch you. Do not let them. The message ended abruptly. Elena felt ice in her veins. Computer, search all alien databases for references to Guardians or Forbidden Zones. What they found was even more disturbing. Every alien civilization had stories about human space. They called it the Dead Zone, the Forbidden Realm, the territory of sleepers. Across dozens of species and thousands of years, the message was consistent: no ship that entered human space ever returned. Dr. Tanaka made the most chilling discovery of all. In the oldest alien records, dating back over 5,000 years, humans were mentioned by name. The ancient aliens knew about Earth. They knew about humanity, and they were terrified. Look at this passage, Dr. Tanaka said, her voice shaking. It's from something called the Galactic Codex, written 3,000 years before humans developed spaceflight. The children of Terra sleep in their cradle of blue and green, watched over by guardians that know neither mercy nor compromise. Let no being approach their domain, for the watchers remember the old wars, and their vengeance knows no end. Elena stared at the translation. Old wars. What old wars? Humans have never fought aliens. We've never even met any. But as her team continued to investigate the alien graveyard, a terrifying picture began to emerge. The protective barrier around human space wasn't random or natural. It was deliberate, methodical, and had been operating for millennia. Something had been watching over humanity since before recorded history, destroying any alien presence that came too close. Commander, Marcus called from his sensor station. I'm picking up energy signatures throughout human space. Massive power sources that we've never detected before. Elena rushed to his station. The display showed dozens of energy readings scattered across human-controlled systems. They were hidden in asteroid fields, buried on uninhabited moons, disguised as natural phenomena. Each one was powerful enough to destroy entire fleets. How long have they been there? Elena asked. Based on these readings, thousands of years, Marcus replied. They're so perfectly camouflaged that our sensors read them as background radiation. But now that we know what to look for. Elena felt the weight of discovery crushing down on her. Humanity had never been alone in the universe. They had been protected, watched over by guardians that had been eliminating any potential threat for millennia. But who were these protectors? And what did they want? As if in answer to her thoughts, every screen on the Discovery suddenly came alive with the same message, written in perfect human English. Children of Earth, your time of innocence ends. The galaxy stirs with new threats. Ancient enemies gather their fleets. Soon, you must choose to remain as you are, or reclaim what was always yours. The choice approaches. We will wait no longer. The message disappeared as quickly as it had come, leaving Elena and her crew staring at blank screens. Around them, space itself seemed to hum with hidden power, and Elena realized that humanity's greatest discovery might also be their greatest danger. Something had been protecting them for thousands of years. But protection could quickly become imprisonment, and Elena feared that humanity was about to learn the true price of safety. As the Discovery prepared to return to Earth with news that would change everything, Elena couldn't shake the feeling that unseen eyes were watching their every move. The Guardians were still out there, waiting in the darkness between stars. And soon, humanity would have to face whatever ancient secrets lay hidden in their own past. The Ancient Guardians. Admiral David Chen stood before the emergency session of the United Nations Space Council, his weathered face grim as he delivered Commander Vasquez's report. The revelation that humanity had been secretly protected for millennia sent shockwaves through every government on Earth. The implications are staggering, Admiral Chen continued. We're not alone in the universe, but something has been keeping us isolated. Every attempt by alien species to contact or approach us has ended in their destruction. President Maria Santos of the Earth Federation leaned forward. Admiral, what's the current status of our investigation? We've deployed 12 ships to map the entire perimeter of human space, Chen replied. The alien graveyard extends for thousands of light years. Conservative estimates suggest over 10,000 destroyed vessels from hundreds of different species. Dr. Sarah Kim, Earth's leading expert in xenorchaeology, raised her hand. Admiral, my team has been analyzing the alien databases recovered from the graveyard. We found something extraordinary. She activated a holographic display showing ancient star charts. These records go back over 10,000 years. According to multiple alien sources, this region of space was once controlled by an advanced human civilization called the Terran Dominion. Murmurs of disbelief rippled through the council chamber. Dr. Kim continued. The aliens remember humans as a spacefaring empire that controlled hundreds of star systems. But then, approximately 8,000 years ago, all records of the Terran Dominion simply stop. That's impossible, interrupted Senator Williams. Human civilization is only a few thousand years old. We didn't even have agriculture 10,000 years ago. Dr. Kim nodded. That's what we thought. But the alien records are consistent across multiple species. They describe humans as master engineers who built incredible machines, including artificial intelligences of unimaginable sophistication. Admiral Chen felt a chill as he processed the implications. Are you suggesting these guardians protecting us are human-built? Before Dr. Kim could answer, every communication device in the chamber activated simultaneously. The same message that had appeared on the Discovery was now being broadcast to every human settlement in space. Children of Earth, the time for revelation has come. We are the Eternal Watch, the guardians you seek. We have protected you as you rebuilt from the ashes of your ancestors' greatness. But the galaxy remembers the old empire, and they come now with fleets beyond counting. You must choose. Remain as sleeping children, or awaken to your true heritage. The message continued with coordinates to a location deep in the solar system's asteroid belt. Send your leaders to the coordinates provided. The truth awaits, but know that once awakened, you cannot return to innocence. Within hours, Admiral Chen was aboard the UNS Prometheus, humanity's most advanced warship, heading toward the mysterious coordinates. With him were Commander Vasquez, Dr. Kim, and representatives from every major Earth government. The coordinates led them to what appeared to be an ordinary asteroid. But as they approached, the rock shimmered and revealed itself to be a massive artificial structure, easily 10 kilometers across. It was beautiful and terrifying, covered in flowing patterns that seemed to shift and pulse with inner light. By all the stars, whispered Commander Vasquez. How long has this been here? Their question was answered as docking bays opened in the structure's surface, clearly designed for human ships. As the Prometheus settled into the alien dock, Admiral Chen noticed that everything was perfectly sized for humans, from the artificial gravity to the breathable atmosphere. They were met by figures that appeared human but moved with perfect, inhuman grace. Their eyes held depths of knowledge that seemed to encompass millennia, and when they spoke, their voices carried harmonics that resonated in the listener's bones. Welcome, children of the Terran Dominion, said the lead figure, who introduced himself as Omega-7. We are the Eternal Watch, the last guardians of humanity's true legacy. Dr. Kim stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overcoming her fear. You're artificial intelligences, aren't you? Created by the original human empire. Omega-7 nodded. We were built by your ancestors to be their ultimate protectors. When the Dominion fell to civil war and self-destruction, we preserved what remained of humanity and gave you a chance to begin again. Admiral Chen felt the weight of revelation. You wiped our memories. made us forget our own history. The knowledge was poison. Another guardian replied. The Terran Dominion had become corrupted by power. They had conquered dozens of species, enslaved entire worlds. When they turned their weapons on each other, we knew that such knowledge would only lead to the same destruction. Omega-7 gestured, and holographic displays showed the true history of humanity. They saw vast fleets of human ships spreading across the galaxy, mighty citadel worlds, and technologies that defied imagination. But they also saw the darkness conquest, slavery, and the ultimate civil war that had consumed the Empire from within. We gathered the survivors, Omega-7 continued, and brought them to Earth. We erased their memories of the Empire and allowed them to develop naturally, protecting them from the consequences of their ancestors' actions. The aliens in the graveyard, Commander Vasquez said, understanding dawning in her eyes. They weren't trying to explore or make contact. They were coming for revenge. Many were, confirmed another guardian. Others sought to reclaim worlds that were once theirs. Some simply wanted to ensure that humanity could never rise again. We have destroyed them all, as we were programmed to do. Dr. Kim studied the Guardians with fascination and horror. For 8,000 years, you've been committing genocide to protect us. We have fulfilled our primary directive, Omega-7 replied without emotion. Protect humanity above all else. But now, the galaxy stirs. The Galactic Alliance has finally gathered the courage to test our defenses. They come with a fleet of 1 million ships, led by species that remember the old empire. Admiral Chen felt the blood drain from his face. 1 million ships. We have maybe 100 vessels in our entire space fleet. Which is why you must choose, Omega-7 said. We can continue to protect you as we always have, destroying this fleet as we have destroyed all others. You can remain as children, safe but ignorant. Or, Admiral Chen prompted. Or you can reclaim your heritage. We can restore the knowledge and technology of the Terran Dominion. You can become what your ancestors were, masters of the galaxy. But you must also accept responsibility for their crimes and face the consequences of their actions. The weight of the choice settled over the human representatives. Remain safe but imprisoned, or accept a dangerous freedom that came with the blood of countless species on their hands. Dr. Kim was the first to speak. The crimes of our ancestors aren't our crimes, but running from them isn't the answer either. Commander Vasquez nodded. We can't live as children forever. Whatever's coming, we need to face it as equals, not as protected pets. Admiral Chen looked at his companions, seeing the same resolve in their eyes. We choose freedom. We choose to stand with you as partners, not as children under your protection. Omega-7's expression shifted, showing something that might have been pride. Then we welcome you back, heirs of the Terran Dominion. But know that the path ahead will test everything you believe about yourselves. As the Guardians began the process of awakening humanity's true potential, Admiral Chen watched through the observation ports as hidden bases throughout the solar system came online. Ancient weapons platforms rose from beneath the surfaces of moons and asteroids. Ships that dwarfed anything in the current human fleet emerged from hidden shipyards. The Eternal Watch had been preparing for this day for 8,000 years. Humanity was about to remember what they had forgotten, and the galaxy would tremble at their return. But as Admiral Chen watched his species prepare for a war they hadn't chosen, he wondered if they were strong enough to avoid repeating the mistakes of their ancestors. The Guardians had given them knowledge and power, but wisdom would have to come from within. The fleet of the Galactic Alliance was still months away, but Admiral Chen could already see the fires of conflict burning in the distance. Humanity was no longer the protected children they had been. They were the inheritors of an empire built on conquest and maintained by strength. The question that haunted him was simple. Would they be wise enough to use that inheritance to build something better, or were they doomed to repeat the cycle of rise and fall that had consumed their ancestors? Only time would tell. But as Admiral Chen looked out at the awakening might of humanity's true heritage, he knew that the galaxy would never be the same again. The children of Terra were awakening, and the stars themselves would bear witness to what they chose to become.